And I'm here with a new video, and this one's going to be, well, actually, I'll tell the story behind this one. First of all, I've reached 50 subscribers, so thanks for that. Those 50 people that like me enough to subscribe to the channel, fantastic. And this video's basically come about because of the comments section. And two I want to point out, one from the Archivable, who says, more stamp videos. Okay, I'm doing that. But this one, and this is a comment that somebody put on. The fella's name is, I assume he's Dutch, Willy van Het Kerkhoff. Basically wants more videos on presentation packs because he collects Dutch stamps, and apparently the Dutch don't have presentation packs, and it turns out that that's something I've not really considered before. Is like I've been showing these videos on British presentation packs, and I just assumed that other countries have them. I know a lot of the ex-Empire countries have them. Certainly the Channel Islands have them. I know the US has them. I was sorely tempted to buy the Batman ones when they came out last year, and the Star Trek ones when they came out before that. I haven't bought them, but I was tempted. So I know a lot of countries do have them, but I was surprised that lots don't. I thought it was a pretty international thing, presentation packs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of them and just show everyone who doesn't know what they are. So if you know what they are, you might not get much out of this video, but then you never know, you might. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and I've picked a few that I want to show just to illustrate what presentation packs actually are. So the first presentation pack I'm going to show is, well, it's the first official presentation pack. It's not actually the first presentation pack, which is something that I've explained in previous videos, but it's the Shakespeare Festival one. And this is from April 1964 this was issued, and I'm going to have to be very careful with it because it is still in the original plastic wrapping. And basically what it is stamps come in sort of, they come in sets normally. So like commemorative stamps for certain events will be released as sets of stamps. So as you can see, there are all the different values here that were released in this pack, all the Shakespeare stamps that were released at that time. So what the British, what the Royal Mail decided to do was, instead of releasing them as single stamps, which they do as well, they released them in these presentation packs. And the added value of these is you get some nice artwork. You've got a nice little pack for them to go in. And you've got, so if you look there, you've got some quotes from Shakespeare as well. And I'll just, like I say, I want to be very careful with this because it's not worth a fortune, this pack, but it's worth enough that I wouldn't want to have to pay to replace it. So just be very careful with that. And as you can see, these early ones, there's not much to them. And you basically get some extra information in there about what's in the pack. So you have a little blurb here about the stamps, and that's basically the technical details on the stamps. So I'll tell you the values were produced by the multicolour photogravure printing process, the three pence and 6 pence on a rotary press, and the 1 shillings and 3 and 1 shillings on 6 on a flatbed press. They're printed on coated paper weighing 63.5 grams per square metre GSM, and has an all-over watermark of a crown. The perforations are 15 by 14 measured over 2 centimetres. The 2 and 6 value is produced by the line engrave process. The paper and watermark are the same as for the photogravure issues, but the perforation is 11 by 12 measured over 2 centimetres. The quantities printed will be for the 3 pence 156 million, the 6 pence 19 million, the 1 and 3 7 million, 1 and 6 7 million, and 2 and 6 2.5 million. So that's sort of the technical process. Normally it gives you the yes, that's on the back. So we've got some more Shakespeare quotes here to finish the pack off, and then there's some more information on the technical process of the stamps and the designer. And it tells you that they were printed by Harrison and Sons Limited, which did an awful lot of stamps. So yeah, these are designed by... So, where are we? Yeah, so they were designed presumably by this fella David Gentleman and the Ironside brothers. But there you go. So yeah, that's basically what a presentation pack amounts to. And like I say, this is from 1964, and I'm going to be very careful with this because the thing is as well, these little sheets that the stamps come on, they're not exactly very delicate when they're new, but as there's a glued band here that holds the plastic inserts in place, and over time that will perish. So I want to be very careful and be really, really careful with this, because all the paper bits are normally fine, but the plasticky bits tend to perish over time, and being really careful. So this is the only trouble with the older packs, is they're not really designed to be taken out of the pack at all. They're designed to be left in there and sort of looked at and admired. But there you go. That's an early presentation pack. So the next one I'm going to show is a more modern example of a presentation pack. This is the larger size presentation pack. These have all been a standard size since 1982, I believe. The Darwin 1982 issue was the first one at this size, and they've all been a standard size since. So as you can see on the modern presentation packs, we have the number of the presentation pack. This one is 512, the Magna Carta pack, and the date of issue is the 2nd of the 6th, 15. That's obviously 2nd of June 2015, because it's the British standard of dates. If you were reading that as an American, you might think this was issued on the 6th of February, but it's not. It's February. It's the 2nd of June. So yeah, this is basically the same, only the design is slightly different. So you have the stamps are in this little flap bit here, which is actually attached to the pack. Now, earlier issues of the larger size did have a separate cardboard insert that would come out, but these are actually attached to the pack. So again, presentation packs, they're not designed to be taken out. They're designed to be... I suppose if you did want to display it, you could display it like that with the stamps at the bottom. But it basically explains what the Magna Carta is. And do you know what? I'm not going to read all this. But it does tell you, it's got quotes on the stamps, obviously, here. And again, if you look at the back, it's more information on the Magna Carta and then the American Bill of Rights and things like that. And Simon de Montfort's Parliament, which is... again, was another 1965 issue, I believe. But if you look here on the modern packs, I'm going to put it back in the... Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to show you this first because the plastic will reflect the light. So if you look here, the technical stuff that was on the inside of the other pack is on the back of the packs now, and it basically says date of issue 2nd of June 2015. The designer was Howard Brown. The illustrator was Andrew Davidson. There's acknowledgements, words from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, United Nations, reprinted with the permission of the United Nations, Crown copyright. It tells you the pack number, who designed the pack, the perforation size, the numbers per sheet, all the rest of it, and then a load of stuff about the Royal Mail. So you still get the technical information. It's just that this time around you probably... I mean, my eyes aren't the best, but I am having slight trouble reading it, to be honest. So yeah, good idea to have a magnifying glass if you want to read everything on these packs. So yeah, that was the Magna Carta pack there. So that's an example of a standard presentation pack. That is by far and away the sort of design of most modern presentation packs nowadays. Now we're going to head on to one which I would call, these ones I would call a deluxe presentation pack, by which I mean they come with extra stuff, basically, which is an optional extra. It is not optional extra stuff. If it's a deluxe pack, it's a deluxe pack. There will be no standard version. Now, these are usually more expensive, but only because they've got more postage valid stamps in them. So the one I've picked to show is the David Bowie stamp set, and again, this has got the issue number and the date. So that's 538 is the number of the pack, and the 14th of March 2017. So a reasonably recent edition. And what this is basically the same, only you have this one does have the separate stamp sheet, so you can take that out when you're reading the information. No chance of damaging the stamps. But there's also a second stamp sheet in the back containing the miniature sheet, which again has 4 more stamps in it at the back, which if you're displaying them in the folders like I am, you won't really see these. This will probably be the last time in a long while these stamps see the light of day. And it basically comes with extra stuff. So you've got another piece which goes over the back piece here, which is information on David Bowie, and again this has all the technical details on them. So it's number of stamps 4. This is basically if you bought the miniature sheet on its own, this is the pack that would turn up. Now, like I say, when you buy the full presentation pack, you don't get the option of just having these on their own anymore. They come with the miniature sheet, but the sheet itself is available separately, and if you bought that, that's what it would look like, give or take, only obviously wrapped in plastic. So this is the technical information on the miniature sheet. Design Royal Margaret, acknowledgements of Stiggy Stardust Tour 1973, the stage tour 1978, Glass Spider tour 1987, all that sort of thing. Tells you about the stamps, and these are licky stickies, whereas the other ones are self-adhesive, I believe. Yeah, these are licky stickies, so gum arabic presumably, which it will say on here, but I can't find it at the moment. And then, like I say, this is the other part of the presentation pack, of this deluxe presentation pack. And again, on the back here, you've got all the information, date of issue 14th of March, the sizes, which is obviously different from the miniature sheet. And then there's loads and loads of information here about David Bowie, which you can read if you want to. David Robert Jones was born in Brixton, South London on the 8th of January 1947, blah 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 blah. And it's got all his albums here. David Bowie 1967, Space Oddity 1969, Man Who Sold the World 1970. Yeah, so it's got all the albums here right up to Black Star 2016. Yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, but all the presentation packs, whatever the subject matter of the presentation pack, it's going to have, obviously, information. And the good thing is as well, I mean, I don't know what the pricing structure is like in other countries, but if I was to go and buy just the stamps, the premium for having them in a presentation pack is somewhere between 50p and £1. Depending on what the issue is. So this is why presentation packs are good. For that tiny amount more, you get so much more added value in your stamps. So this is why I like them, is because I'll be honest with you, most of the times I buy the things and they go in a folder. because I don't really sit down and read them all. But if I ever did need to, it's all here, and you know. I mean, I dare say something like David Bowie will last long into the future. Future generations will know who David Bowie is. They might not know everything about him, but they'll have heard of him. You know, he'd be like, maybe not as big as Beethoven, but do you know what I mean? It's like one of these people that you've just automatically heard of. Whereas some of the other subjects might not. You know, they might not last that long. They might be here today, gone tomorrow. And I mean, somebody like Roland Hill, who has had, I think, 3 different presentation packs, or possibly 2 presentation packs and a miniature sheet that have been entirely about Roland Hill. You would never know who Roland Hill was if you weren't into stamps and bought presentation packs. Although in the world of stamps, he's a vitally important man. But outside of that sphere, you wouldn't know otherwise until you pick up a presentation pack about Roland Hill and go, oh, that's why he's important. You know, because he designed the penny black. In fact, he didn't just design the penny black. He completely revamped the entire postal industry with the invention of the stamp, and also people paying to send the letters rather than paying to receive them. Which, you know, if you get junk mail through the door, you could argue was probably a double-edged sword. But there you go. So yeah, that's basically what presentation packs are. And if you're a stamp collector in a part of the world that doesn't do presentation packs, I do genuinely kind of feel sorry for you, because all you have then are the stamps. And don't get me wrong, stamps are nice things, they're pretty things, they're, you know... But I think sometimes they do need a bit of background. I mean, for instance, if you lived in a country that didn't have presentation packs and you just bought this set of stamps or this miniature sheet, I mean, you would look at that and go, oh, well, there's David Bowie album covers. Okay, fair enough. But if you didn't know anything about David, or you didn't know much about David Bowie and wanted to know, then this is a wealth of information. And like I say, it's also got all the technical details on the stamps, the printing process, who designed them, who designed the pack they're in, the issue date, all the rest of it. You don't need to go online or wherever and go and look it up. It's all here. So that's basically what presentation packs are. And for not much of a premium on top of the price of the stamps, I think they're well worth it. Some more than others, obviously. You know, if you have a book of stamps on, you know, there was a children's stamp set that was issued last year with funny animal prints on it. I've showed it in a previous video, so it wasn't too long ago, so you can probably go and look. But you know, obviously there's not going to be a wealth of useful information to most people in that particular pack, but you know, to the child that's reading it, you don't know. I mean, they might get more out of it than, you know, normal adults will. But I like I say, I think there's a lot of added value in presentation packs that is very much underappreciated, especially when I know that a lot of stamp dealers, especially from the older packs, a lot of stamp dealers just throw them away. You know, they will use, especially stuff from the 90s and early 2000s, they will use the stamps just as postage. You know, they will just put them on envelopes, arguably as they're intended, but the presentation packs will go in the bin, and then that wealth of information is just lost. You know, it's not there for collectors to have in the future. So all I would say is to stamp dealers, you know, or anyone who's into stamps and does that with presentation packs, keep the packs, because people do want them. People like me want them. If I happened to have all these stamps loose and didn't have the pack for it, I'd be perfectly happy for a small amount of money, you know, not a major amount, but for a small amount of money to buy the packs. You know, people do want them because of the information that's contained within them, if only to save you looking it up. So yeah, that's it. That's my thing on presentation packs. I think they're wonderful things. I've always liked them. That's why I collect them. So yeah, so Willy van Het Kerkhoff. I hope that's answered. I hope that's what you wanted to know about with regard to presentation packs. And I do feel bad that the Netherlands, or I'm sure he said it was Dutch stamps. I do feel bad that the Netherlands doesn't have them. You know, I don't know. Maybe you could write a letter to Netherlands Post and say, look, this is a really good idea. We'd really like these as collectors, perhaps, and you know, see what they say. See, I mean, I can't believe it's never been muted, at least in every country, because, like I say, they just seem like a wonderful thing to have, especially if you're going. I mean, if you're going for a collector's market, I don't think you can do finer than these. If you're a stamp collector that collects presentation packs, then it's the equivalent of buying a special edition version of your favourite movie or your favourite game or something like that. You know, it's added value for not an amazing premium on top. So that's it, yeah. So, yeah, Willy from the Netherlands. Yep, there's your video on presentation packs, and the archivable, there's your stamp video, and there will be more coming, so do stay tuned. And like I said at the beginning of the video, 50 subscribers, I'm utterly chuffed by that. I would love to break 100 by the end of the year. That would make me feel absolutely super. It might not happen, but I've gone from no subscribers to 50 in, well, I was going to say 18 months, but it's actually a little bit longer than that. But, you know how these things go. The more people know about something, the more people might like it. So, yeah, any more questions or comments, I'm perfectly happy to answer them, provided they're within my means. I do read the comment section, obviously, because otherwise, if I didn't read the comment section, this video would never have been made. Because I didn't even consider for a moment that presentation packs weren't a thing in all corners of the globe. But there you are. I've learned something new as well now. And that's about it. Yeah, so questions, comments, whatever else. Obviously, again, there's going to be an end card for this video, so that's going to go up about now. So there'll be some videos appeared here that you could watch or ignore at your leisure, and there's a button that should have appeared here to subscribe to, and as usual you can reach me on the Twitter or the YouTube comments. And that's it, and I'll see you in another video.